in Toronto, we have Sonia Rodriguez and Naoya Ebe, and they'll be performing the Romeo and Juliet balcony pas de deux and bedroom pas de deux, sorry. Yeah, correct me when I'm wrong, because I'm probably wrong like half of the time. But you correct me immediately, then I keep blobbing along. So, and you guys, you'll be performing. Both of you are principals with the National Ballet of Canada, and well, amazing dancers, and we're so happy, so happy to have you on board. Yeah, take it away. It's your time to shine.
Okay.
right, guys. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. Yeah, catch your breath. That was beautiful, despite all the troubles that you went through. And thank you so much for doing so. Because, I mean, what the audience doesn't know, a lot of the things in the background involved you guys really giving your best and helping out. And you were looking for a studio, and you were, you know, getting the Wi-Fi up. And, I mean, all these things that, I mean, I would never take for granted, obviously. It's thanks so much for that.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So welcome. Thank you. I mean, yeah, that was absolutely beautiful. Maybe just briefly, why did you choose this pas de deux? Is there a certain connection, or is that something that you dance in the season?
Well, Naoya and I have paired together to do Romeo and Juliet, and we fairly recently did it. I think it was November. But usually I get attracted to ballets that have characters where the role is very character-based, especially the choreography is very character-based, and it's got a lot of interpretation. Those are kind of the roles that I get to be attracted to and that I enjoy the most. So it seemed like a great opportunity to be able to do that for everybody, especially the third act. Pas de deux has a lot of layers, and it's really beautiful to do.
Yeah, it was very beautiful. And for you, Naoya?
Well, this ballet was my first big ballet I've done since I joined the company. So, yeah, it's just it's very memorable.
Yeah.
And,
so, I mean, you're from Japan, right?
Yes, I was born and raised in Tokyo.
Okay. Yeah. And Sonia, where are you from?
I'm actually, I was born in Toronto, so I'm Canadian, but I was raised in Spain. So my parents moved to Spain when I was just about 5 years old, and I was raised there. I did all my sort of training, and all my formal years sort of happened in Spain. In Europe, I was traveling a little bit, but I joined the National Ballet at 17, and I've been with them since then. So it's as much home as it is Spain for me.
I can imagine that it's, well, it is obviously very, very different. Your career, for example, to mine, I changed a lot of places, so I don't know how that is, how it feels to be for that long in a company. It must be comfortable. But did you never miss going to another place? Is that something that you plan to do like this, or is that something that you say, look, I'm in a very good place here, I'll just stay?
No, I don't. I'm not somebody who has such long-term plans ahead of myself. But I think clearly I was obviously very comfortable within the company. I love the country and the city. They always felt like very welcoming places to me. And I just, year after year, I just felt very challenged in different ways. I've gone through 3 different directors, so even though I haven't gone to any other company, I kind of feel like I've had very different companies that I've been working for, because with each director comes, you know, different visions and different plans. So in that sense, I was kind of fortunate that I didn't have to actually pack my bags and go somewhere to experience that. And I ended up having a family here, so that kind of, sets out big roots where you are, and it's a lot more difficult to consider going somewhere else, because you're having to think of your children also. So, but I've always loved it here. It's been a company that has had a great repertoire from the beginning for me, and that's one of the things that attracted me to it, and just a place that really has allowed me to grow as an artist and as a person. So it's been a great road so far, and I have a few more years ahead of me. I hope I enjoy them as much.
Yeah, we actually had some questions also for you guys from the audience. And one of them, you kind of hinted towards it, but the question exactly was, what are your favorite roles to dance and why? So to both of you, maybe Sonia, you start.
You want me to start? Well, as I said before, anything that's sort of character-based are roles that I find very, very fulfilling. I like to tackle a role where I have to like put some homework into who that person is and have a real understanding of the character. I really enjoy that whole process. You know, that it's not just about the steps, but who the character really is and how that affects, you know, how you move and how you act. And I find very, very satisfactory experience to go through all that and then performing. It's just really wonderful. Not to say that I don't enjoy abstract ballets. I do, and there is, you know, numerous ballets that have sort of blown my mind when I've gone to stage and experienced that when I didn't expect it. Opus 19, The Dreamer, was one of those ballets for me where it's a very abstract piece. And I was enjoying it immensely in the studio, but when I got on stage, I really got filled with emotion, and it just really transported me to another world. So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel. How about you, Naoya?
Yeah, Opus 19. Yeah, we danced together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's roles that, yeah, it satisfies me is that at the end I feel like I'm dying. Yeah, stuff like that satisfies me, but the favorite ballet, I don't know.
You don't have a favorite ballet? It's hard. It's hard to pinpoint.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Which is a good sign.
No favorite ballet then.
Pick one. Yeah. One that you really like. One that you dance with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like this Romeo and Juliet.
There you go.
And so you were discussing about character roles or roles with a strong character. How do you go about creating your characters? What are the most important aspects for you when creating? Is it people that teach you? Is it reading stuff? Is it like how do you create it? Like, do you purposely maybe leave out other people that already have dancing and just do it your own, or do you take a lot from the past of this role?
I think it's important to follow the choreographer and what they have to say, but also I think as a build a relationship with the partners, and yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, and I think for a lot of the dancers, you know, you have to tackle it a little bit like an actor would, you know, when it's a story-based ballet, you know, where you want to have a really good understanding of what the piece is. For something like Romeo and Juliet, obviously you want to be very familiarized with the play and the characters and have a real understanding of who each character is, because you're going to be interacting with each other, and that, you know, I mean, the choreographer is going to come in and give you steps, but you know, there's a lot more. You know, you're having to tell a story, and you have to really understand who that person is and react accordingly, because, you know, it's a live performance, so every day is going to be a little bit differently, and you have to understand who you are so you can react how Juliet would react at that moment, you know, and don't drop characters just because something didn't go the way you were rehearsing it every day. So I think that's sort of the most important thing, and what sort of carries it and makes it look real on stage, and really what, you know, I think touches the audience when they're watching.
Give me 1 second.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I do have to go.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bring my passion to this area, because I think we've talked about the tights as it relates to enhancing the line with the shading and the fabulous. I know that's so important. I get I'm that way too. I get to dance, but and maybe we talked about sort of the compression elements, the other parts of engineering this, because that's the part coming again from the rehab, training, injury, performance side of it. When I look at product like this, I'm thinking about how do I, you know, enhance this body's ability to function and perform at its highest level. So, I mean, I wanted to talk about that part. I think that part's really cool, and maybe you guys talked about it. I don't know.
No, we didn't. Not. We're trying to stay humble.
Oh, okay. well, this is the part I like, and this is the part I contributed. So, I mean, I think because why compression? First of all, you know, everyone's jumping on that bandwagon. What is it? Why? So I think that's it. To me, I'm a scientist. I have to understand what am I doing and why. Maybe it feels good, maybe it's cool. That's all great, but am I doing anything? So, you know, the compression elements are, you know, to keep the tissue warm. To dancers, that's big, right? Improves your flexibility, allows you to move better. Increases blood flow to the area. Increased blood flow means increased oxygen to the area. Well, if we're talking about a functioning machine, thinking about gas in your car, the better that line is, the more the delivery, the smoother the machine works. We also talk about just the idea of compression, not allowing you to pool fluid. It enhances what we call your venous return, right? Your ability to push fluid back up towards the heart. And swelling in any way, first of all, we don't like it. It doesn't look good. It's uncomfortable. Even low levels of swelling in any way kind of sluggish and stalls things. So that's the other part that people sort of commonly believe that enhances recovery. So that's all good. And I think that the even more interesting parts, though, as it relates to these sorts of tights are our concept of areas of tension in the tight that squeeze the muscle, if you will, in a positive way. And the idea is that squeezing of the muscle, you know, reduces the amount of side-to-side vibration action that a muscle goes through and keeps the fibers more aligned. And with more perfectly aligned fibers, you get more efficient mechanical action across the joints. Let's see. One wants that. The other element that I think we didn't talk about that's also huge is this idea of proprioception. You know how we design a little more tight and snug around the key joints, around the knee, around the ankle, and even just in general. That sort of increased sort of squeeze enhances what we call your proprioception, and people may or may not know that. But again, in my world, and if you rehab something, they maybe talk to you about proprioception, maybe spend some time working in balance, yada yada. That could be simple or sophisticated. But the idea of proprioception is that there's feedback from your joint that tells your brain where your joint is in space, where your body is in space. So that increases efficiency of motion, and that has a lot to do with injury. If you don't know, if you don't get the feedback of where your body is in space, where you start to land on your ankle, it's easy to roll your ankle before you know it. So the more proprioceptive feedback you have, the more you're in sort of control from a reflex brain joint way of your joints. Obvious benefits of that, correct? Yeah. And the third one that's particularly interesting to me, and I'm going to spend more time doing some real research on this, is that there's some theory thought that there's some impact absorption effect of these tights. Now, again, to me, where we talked about it earlier, dampening load. Think about jumping down off our boxing ring here. Big compressive load into your joints. Landing is big compressive load into your joints. That's one of the things we're always trying to control in terms of conditioning and injury prevention. That keeps you healthy, controlling compression. If this kind of clothing could reduce the sort of impact pressure by up to 27%. These are huge performance and injury prevention sort of elements to it. So those are the things I wanted to share before I had to leave, because these are the things that make this product super exciting. Beyond like, oh, everyone's wearing compression, I'm going to get them. That's great. The shading's great, but these other true, performance output benefits are really what's cool.
Thank you.
Thank
you for crashing the party.
Sorry. Thank you, guys. Yes,
Thank you
it was a fun day. I look forward to the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, bye now.
Sorry, Sonia. Sorry, Naoya. Are you still there? I'm so sorry.
Sorry, but it was difficult to hear. But
yeah, I'm so sorry. So, Yeah, we were just talking about characters and roles, and you were explaining about those. Yeah, just one last question, and then we will move on to New York City Ballet. What for you are the career-defining moments? If I put you on the spot, I say, what's your career-defining moment? What would you say?
I think for me, probably first time I performed Jewels with the company. I was a demi-soloist, and Susanna Farrell was here to help set the ballet, and I was doing the core and diamonds, and she brought me out and put me to do the lead. And yeah, she just, she opened my eyes and everybody else's eyes to me doing balance work, and opened a lot of doors for me. She inspired me tremendously with her generosity, about the way she approaches ends, and how she sort of passes on the torch to those that she works with. It was very, very inspiring for me.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And now it?
You're so calm.
I mean, yeah, I think every role that I do is, yeah, it's a pretty precious moment. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, right. I mean, doing Romeo and sort of.
Yeah, Romeo was a big.
Was like big role.
There, yeah.
Just to sort of establish.
That was a start. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for participating. That was fun. It was beautiful dancing, and thank you so much for putting your heart into this, and really, well, resolving so many issues going into this up front already. Also, pains here, pains there. You got yourself together. Thank you so very much. And now we're moving over to New York City Ballet. Thanks a lot.